Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. Wow. I have some things I wanted to talk about, and it goes like this. So, very, very, very brief. Not very brief, but I'll let time take me where time goes. So, pretty much, my mother, she died June 6, 2000. Her birthday was, I don't know her year birthday, but her birthday was August 15th. I know she's 2 to 3 years or a year older than my dad. So I don't think I ever find out. But anyway, so she sat up there. She was born. She was born in a hostile and dysfunctional relationship or environment. And what I mean by that is my grandfather was a habitual alcoholic, and he abused the family. He was an army veteran who was served in Vietnam, I think, and he drank constantly and beat up my grandmother Mary, which I didn't know quite at all. She died from colon cancer, and just like my mother did. It's a push and shove. I don't want to get into what I think she died of, because I can't prove it, so I'll just say colon cancer. I don't want to get into Detective Kimberly Cloud, Detective Cloud. So, but I'll tell you the good times I remember. Well, the weird times. So I remember I wanted to go out like I'm grown at age 12. And my mother was 5'2". I'm 5'6". I probably was 5'4.5" at the time because I'm only 12 years old, mind you. And I was trying to follow in my sister's footsteps, you know. And so she sat up there and body slammed me and held me down. I'm like, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. She was a good mother. She didn't play that. And if your mother don't wrestle with you and to show you who's boss, then she's just going to let you do whatever you want to do. I don't think that was any abuse. A 12-year-old trying to go out to party, come on now. I didn't even know nothing about partying. I just wanted to go out. So, and then she threw me down the stairs. She threw me down the stairs. And, literally, y'all, she threw me down the stairs. I was never a person that want to fight my family to test out my fighting skills. I knew deep down inside I could fight, but when I'm fighting, I don't want to fight my mother. I don't want to fight my father. I don't want to fight my sister. I don't want to fight my brother. I don't want to fight nobody. I don't think it should lead to that point unless your mother is trying to correct what you're doing. So, anyway, she threw me out of the house. I left out for a couple of days, came back, and I don't want to talk about the ratchetness that I did, but I'll talk about something different. So, what else happened? We moved. We moved back to Charlotte, and I said, this is prior to her passing away. So, I wanted to go to high school because I was homeschooled. And I tried my best to stay in the books. I tried with math, but it was so hard to read and do it by yourself. But I tried to do it by myself. So to get to the point, I sat up there, and we moved back to Charlotte. We were in Salisbury during that time. And we moved back to Charlotte, North Carolina. And we stayed in the ghetto, the projects, but the shack projects, I call it, with no real heat, no real nothing. And it used to get cold in Charlotte, North Carolina. It used to really get cold there. So she started trying to, I guess, somehow, somewhere somehow, some way she knew she was going to expire early. So she didn't want me going to school. I had to get out there eventually, whether good or bad, to see where I needed to be. I had to, and that's part of the reason why I can see through people more, because, and I don't know how to fake it, but she started wanting me around all the time. And it was great, but I needed to go to school and I needed to get a job. So I got a job working at Winn-Dixie. And how did it happen? She got sick. She kept sitting on the toilet and couldn't poop. So I, 15 without a license, drove her to the hospital. The first time they didn't want to help her. The second time they found cancer, well, polyps, a lot of polyps in her system. And they were like, I remember sitting outside, and the doctor came in to talk to my mother, and he was like, well, this is your stomach. This is somebody else's stomach without cancer or polyps. This is your stomach with it. And she was like, oh, like Marge Simpson be like, oh. So then they took half of it out, and she was so drained and in pain. I went to go pick up her prescription. I drove to go pick up her prescription. And then after I picked up her prescription, I left her at home, and I around the clock was taking care of her. And then it happened. So she sat up there and she got sicker. The cancer has spread it. For some reason, the cancer spread it all out through her body. And I had to drive her at 15, drive her back to the hospital. Nobody else was around. Drive her back to the hospital. And she went into some type of shock or coma where she can see you, but she won't talk to you. She can see you, won't talk to you, won't do nothing. And then I saw it. I don't want to say how it happened, but it was 2 o'clock in the morning, and I drove all the way back, all the way to the hospital to go see my mother. And June, probably June 3rd or 4th, or I don't know exactly the day. I don't know if she died exactly on June 6th or was the funeral on June 6th. It's a blur. So all I know is that June 2000, let's just say it's June 6th, in the morning, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., I walked in the Presbyterian Hospital downtown in Charlotte, North Carolina, and it was very quiet. For some reason, I didn't hear or see no action, or nobody was, you know, doing anything crazy. This is Charlotte, right next to Gridson. This is like 10 minutes away from Gridson. And so I walked in her room. I can say it without crying now. That's why I make jokes. So I walked in her room. She had a bunch of fluid and brown liquid coming out her mouth. And there was a male doctor standing there that was African. And I was like, hey, dog, what's coming out of her nose? I kept tapping her. I kept tapping her, tapping a dead body and didn't even know it. I'm tapping her like, what? And looking at the doctor like, hey, why she have brown stuff coming out her mouth? Just tapping her, right? And then the doc turned around. I'm gonna try to say it in his voice. He was like, hold on. He's like, I'm sorry to tell you this. Because the African strong voice, I'm African American, so I should be able to mimic that. I'm sorry to tell you this, but your mother passed away 5 minutes ago. And all hell broke loose. All hell broke loose with me. I had the biggest nervous breakdown, y'all. I fell on the floor, hit my head. I remember the jacket I was wearing. It was a fiala, black, white, and red. And that started my story of wanting to commit suicide. I drove home or drove to my brother's house, and I was just swerving on purpose, just swerving because I was crying. She was my world, man. That's all I knew was my mother. You know, I don't want to talk. I was so close to her. I was close to her, very close to her. They used to call me a kiss butt, and I'm saying it in the nicest way. I don't want to cuss today. Today, I want to keep it straight. So he used to call me a kiss butt because I used to suck up to her all the time. But I didn't used to suck up. We just used to have a lot in common. And I know there's women out there just like that, that's like me, but it's hard to find those women because it's hard for them to trust people just as well as it's hard for me. So I'm swerving, and it's a bunch of crying. I pull up to the side, and I'm going to tell you some real stuff that happened too that was very weird, y'all. So I pull up, and Jessica's crying, Melvin's crying, everybody's crying, they got the call before I got back, everybody's crying, and I'm like, I went numb. And it was sick. It was sick. So we had to go back to the house one more time. Now, mind you, nobody's been in that house. I didn't want to go back. I said, I ain't going back to that house. No way, Jose. And, they pushed us, and I went back by myself, man. And that was a big no-no. Let me tell you what happened. I took a shower. I was in the middle of it. I wasn't even in the middle. I turned on the shower, as you do when you're taking a shower, and all of a sudden the hinge, the where the water come out, it just popped off. I said, and I was half wet too. I said, So I want to cuss so bad. I got in the car and I left and drove back to my brother's house. I was like, whatever spirit is here, they don't want me here no more. And that's how I looked at it. I definitely believe in spirits, but the funeral was even more dysfunctional. The funeral. So, man, everybody like, well, who gonna take Kimmy? Who gonna take Jesse? Who gonna take them? We don't have the space. I can't take them no more. Everybody is just talking about how they can't take us. It's too much. We're bad. like all of that. And then it happens. We go inside the funeral home. And once again, I broke down. I even went to the autopsy. After the autopsy, we saw her. She looked fine. She looked like a person that just, like Law and Order, how they take them go see a dead body. She looked fine to me. And then they asked if they want her eyes taken out for research. I said no. And then my brother was like, stop it. And I'm like, oh Lord. If it was up to me, she would have been perfectly intact. I don't care. So anyway, it's not like you're getting paid for it. But anyway, we went in the funeral home while they're playing the salty funeral music. Dun, dun, like on Tales from the Hood or something. That salty depression music. Me and my sister broke down immediately because my mother was like 500 pounds. I don't know what happened. Was she still alive? We don't know. I don't know. Because it makes no sense to swell up that big. I'm big. Don't get me wrong. I'm big. And I don't sit up there and I'm not joning on big people. All I'm saying is that she was like my size or a little, she's 5'2", weighing 170. And now she looked 500 pounds. I didn't believe that was her. I kept touching her. I said, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. So then it was a white casket. All the aunts are arguing in their own cliques because it's like 12 of them talking junk about each other. Just sad, man. And I don't care who didn't show up for the funeral. It is what it is. You reap what you sow, like Erykah Badu said. I make sure I plant stuff in a positive way so I reap the benefits. You do bad things will come back to you eventually. So, yeah, they took the casket to the funeral home, which I don't know where the funeral home is. I have to ask either Melvin or Jessica. And I plan on going out there to the plot because for all I know, they could have dug it up. And she don't even got a plaque. She just got a number. I don't know if she got a plaque or not, but all I know is that I want to go out there to visit her and I want to go out there and visit my dad. But I got to know where the funeral home is so I can call and see if they can find her in the data bank. But they went out there. Her nemesis, her arch nemesis sister, Sheila, I won't call her an aunt, just like crying and everything, and I'm like starting to be like my mother because I'm the last person that's seen her alive. So they all say I act like my mother, by the way. And I'm just like, why are you crying? You slept with my with my father. You hate my mother. So now you love my mother? Like, what's up with that? You know, no, Nadine. I'm like, oh God, it's drama. Like, so anyway, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. And that was it, man. We immediately decided that, did Joe come down? Rest his soul. Who came down and how I end up at Uncle Joe's house? Who house did I end up at first? Ultimately, I ended up at Aunt Janet's house. But I went to Uncle Joe's house. It didn't work out, so I went to Janet's house. It didn't work out there, I went to Shannon's house. It didn't work out there, so I went back to Melvin's, where me and Melvin may have had differences, but it was no reason for him to kick me out. It was just jealousy, man. So that's the only thing I can think of. You kicking an underage girl out for doing what? What did I do except tell the truth like my mother did? Like, I don't get it. The truth hurts. The truth hurts, man. So if your son is drinking, like not drinking like a Red Bull with vodka or tonic or whatever, like light liquor. He's drinking that stuff in the wino bottle, the big silhouette wino that my uncle used to drink. And I would watch him and he would throw up and then he would drink again. Some of it got on my sock one night because he threw up on my sock. Then one day he woke up. He didn't understand. He could have been using drugs for all I know, too. He was of age. So one day he wakes up and he don't feel good. They take him to the hospital, come to find out he lost both of his kidneys. Now, here goes the trickery. I'm 16 and a half at the time. My sister flies in from Hawaii, and then all crap breaks loose. They start talking about me from upstairs, like I can't hear through the vents of the tiny house that they had. They started doing all types of stuff, and my sister was included in it too. And I don't hold grudges. I know to let it go, but I'm telling you the truth. Like I said, the truth hurts. And so to get to the point, they get buddy buddy with Jessica. Mind you, Troy has a brother, a sister, a father, a mother. Nobody would give him his kidney. A cousin that he's been around longer than Jessica. Cousins to the galore that says, yeah, Troy, I would give it, but like all that BS, man, that they asked Jessica. I was livid. This is why they kicked me out. I was so livid because that's my sister and she has a child that's 1 year old. She's 17 years old. And you're asking her at an immature age for a kidney. But my sister didn't care. She went along with it. And I just couldn't do it no more. I said I watched him drink. And she would go back and tell Troy what I said. And then the feud was still assumed. One day he choked me out till I blacked out. One day he got somebody to push me in the pool and pretended like he didn't know I couldn't swim when I told him 5 times I couldn't swim. Evil. This is why I don't trust many people. So, you give somebody at your vulnerability point and they take advantage of it, it's just dead wrong. Now she has 1 kidney. Her daughter is older, but I didn't even want to hear about. We talked again, but I didn't even want to hear about what's going on between her and her immediate family because I don't want to know. She just be grateful you got your daughters and your wife, and that's it. That's how I feel about that. And so that's basically it. She has medical conditions that are skittish because if it gets any worse, she could lose her last kidney, which I don't know, man. I don't know what to say about that. I told her not to. And then she'll be on dialysis, which hurts my heart. I may not talk to her right now, but it hurts my fucking heart. And I'm sorry for cussing. That's the way I feel. I'm never, have never been jealous of my sister or anybody else in my family for all that matter. But I'm not stupid when it comes to some things. So, yeah, I don't have nothing else. Oh, I didn't show y'all the bathrobe. It doesn't really, it fits, but I got an extra large or 1X, I think, and it doesn't really fit, but it fits. But I'll be wearing something under it. So, yeah, I'll show you in a second. But yeah, man, I 24 years since my mother passed away. 24 years and 2 months. I don't want to go into days or hours, but I was 15. So God bless her. I had a dream, I'm not making this crap up. I had a dream about her a night ago that I was in Charlotte and we were at the Charlotte bus transit station and we were going into Burger King and I said, I want to go to Grits. And she said, I'll go with you. And then I woke up. So her spirit is probably most likely in Charlotte. I don't know. I don't know if spirits can travel like they say they can, but dead spirits don't know where they're going. Dead spirits most likely, that's why you can't remember when you get reborn. You don't remember your past life. So dead spirits don't know that they have a daughter or something like that. Sort of like dementia. Dementia patients knows who they are, which means that I can travel spiritually through, I forgot what it's called again. Uh what is it called again? Astroplaning. I can astroplane into a world where maybe my mother's spirit is, but she cannot astroplane into my world because she don't know where I am. But I go to Charlotte, I make the scene, sort of like an inception type thing. That I believe is real partially, and she's there in Charlotte, but she cannot astroplane all the way to Kirkland because she don't know who I am. If that makes any sense, when you wake up as a baby, you don't know who you are. You have to learn to love your parents that are raising you. Sometimes you're adopted and all of that good stuff. But, you know, I I love that woman. I love her to death, man, forever. And I even tried to commit suicide a lot so that I can be with her again. but I let it go. I let it go. I let it go. Obviously, the military wants me here for a reason. That's why I don't get mad, quite mad at, I get mad at certain people that's in the service that, like, that's why I don't abuse nothing or do nothing no more. Because, you know, I end up getting in trouble, or I I know the consequences, and I don't want to end up paralyzed or brain dead. Like, just think about this. A person with dementia knows who you are, but they forgot everything else. And when they die, they know who you are. That's a part of their past now, but they forgot everything else. So they're there in that area, in that aura, where they're waiting. And I don't know if it's a DNA thing too, because I don't know how that part works, like, but I know what I'm saying is partially correct. Dementia and people that are dead, that their energy subsides. Like Russia did a study, and they did some type of thing where somebody died and they watched the spirit actually leave the body. They're doing a lot of stuff to see where the spirit go. And they probably, some people already know, some people don't. I know they're up to date. This may be a top secret subject or a top secret thing that they know about that we don't know about. That's why they call it top secret, you know. So yeah. But I truly feel like when you die in a place, and that's what I mean. When you die in a place, your spirit ends up in that place. It probably can travel, but it doesn't travel like to where you are and hunt you. And sometimes other spirits can try. That's why when you go to a house that's haunted, there's a past about the house of a girl or somebody who died and still lives in that house. About the shower, when I took a shower, partial shower, the shower just bang, and that's all my mother used to do is take showers. The shower just came off, and I said, "Oh hell no," and I left and went back to my brother's house. But I even watched a cat when I was in sixth or fifth grade or seventh grade, during the era of when the first Scream came out. We were at a boarding house, and I literally watched a cat die in my arms. It was sick. Nobody wanted to help it, and it died. It died. I also have done weird things. Don't laugh at this now. Y'all gonna be like, what is this girl up to? But I wanted to know, and I was curious. I wanted to know literally what was in a roach egg. And I got my wish, and never again will I do that. Because all my life, like from six, probably earlier than that, to like 15, roaches has been in my life. And when I was 12 years old, was it 12 or 13 or 14? Probably 14, no, 13 and a half. I wanted to know what was, because I always wanted to be a doctor or some sort of person to do autopsies on people. And so I cut it open, and these little clear things started crawling around. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? What is that? It made me itch, yo. I was like, I took a thing and just smashed them all. I was like, Dude, man, like really, it's like 20 roaches in that egg. I wanted to know. I thought it was one big roach, like a baby. But it's like 20 roaches that's clear that haven't caught to the air yet to turn brown that are in that egg. So imagine that. 20 to 1. Ugh. Ugh. Oh, it's making me itch right now thinking about it. Cause that sight was so gory, man. But yeah, man. Um, yeah, so I think it's something that trying to figure out what I can say. I'm not finished talking. What time is it? I've finished saying this because I'm trying to figure out what could it be that keeps a person. Okay, I'll give the perfect example. Like an airplane in an airport, right? Right? You need, how can I say this? Oh my God. You fly into the airport, you die. No. That's a bad example. I'm trying to see. I know it's something behind it. I know it's something that they need to figure out or they have figured out. But now that we have this artificial intelligence, go to your time machines of your Apple devices. They actually call it a time machine. And with the virtual stuff that's going on with Mark is really into virtual. Everything that I ever done with Facebook or any of them, you cannot change that. That's in the past. You cannot change that. Give me a second. Hello. Good morning. Yes. It's actually for me, but I won't need it until the 26th to the 30th, if that makes sense. Yeah, August. Do y'all do an hour or two, or does it have to be 4 hours? How much? What's the rate? Yes. Okay, give me a second. I'm online doing a live video. So can I call you back at this number, sir? Okay. Just from Monday to Friday. Yeah. Yes, plastic surgery. Okay, thank you so much. Okay. Hold on. I hate when I do this. It's hard to put back up here. So the virtual studio with Mark Zuckerberg, that's the same way. And people don't understand that we go throughout our past to our present. And what I mean by that is we go, I'm talking to some people in their future. Washington, D.C. is in the future. Fort Campbell, Kentucky is in the past. Then you got Mountain Time. Central Mountain, which is an hour behind in front of me, and that's Pacific. So DC is ahead of me in the future. So I got some people, and then I got the future a day later, people from different countries. So yeah, we already time travelers, I feel, in a physical human form. But um, it's something about death that intrigues me because I wonder where their spirit goes. Do it stay there? There? Where does it go? And I watched enough shows, like I said, to know that these spirits, this energy never dies. Energy never dies. You can make it, and it's, you know, it never dies. Um, yeah, so I wish I knew. Even the most extended doctors that I've talked to online said they just can't talk about it. But people that's about to die start saying that they see people in the past that's already dead, and we're in our quantum consciousness. Look it up, quantum consciousness. I barely read about it, but that's what we're in when we're in our physical form. Quantum consciousness. So another doctor said that there's still activity in the brain after you pass away. There's still, I forgot what kind of activity he said, but there's still activity in the brain when you die. But I hope to God that I wish I could figure this thing out because it's nothing, based on what I've seen. Some things are fake, they manipulated. Some people created it based on what they believe, and some things are real. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. You know, but I'm gonna end it there and sit up there and show you this robe and then talk about my BBL. Hold on. You know how? Wait. You know how I know they stay? Energy stays in one spot when they die. Look at our outer space. Look at how the sun stays in the same exact place and rotates. Rotates. Look at how the earth stays in exactly one, and they're all energy based. They stay exactly in the same place and rotate. I don't know what rotation energy that died did, does, but they stay in exactly one place in an orb. They're in an orb where the rules are simple. They cannot move zigzag. They cannot move squiggly. They have to stay in one place. The energy, even the biggest of the biggest energy, like the sun, and just rotate. And they all are in unison. This is the took it off yesterday. Let me tell you the story behind it. I got it on last night. Sorry, y'all. Get this iron infusion. I got it on. Well, I got it on at 7:30, between 7:30 and 8. I don't care the time, but I was laying there and I heard something drop. Now my instructions were knock on the door. Nobody knocked on the door. I'm like, what is going on track? So I'm not buying nothing else from Walmart. Also, I'm gonna buy a stencil, an eyebrow stencil, but not right now. I'm gonna buy an eyebrow stencil, and that stencil is gonna be used to put on my eyebrows. And I got a lot of work to do. I watched a whole bunch of makeup videos yesterday. I said, "Oh, that's how you do it," and it was so wonderful. You know, these girls, they did it like pros, man. They showed their eyebrows how it was in a lot of eyebrows and how they did it, and you know, it was really worth seeing. It was very therapeutic. And so, yeah, man. Um, I want to. How many more days I have? I have to call my officer. Officer. I got one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. That's not about right. 8 more days. I'm not. I haven't ran out of nothing to say, but I want to go back to the dying thing because I'm like, that means that if you die, you do stay in that state. But where does your energy go? That's what I want to know. I'm so curious, man. I don't want to know because I want to die. I don't want to know because I'm feeling suicidal. I want to know because I feel like it's vital for people to know what happens when this stuff. Even aliens die, and they're full of energy, magical energy. You know, I don't know. So, and it was funny that they did an autopsy on one alien. I forgot what it's called. Um, what was it called, y'all? Just say it. You don't have to write it down. Roswell. Roswell. They sat up there and did a. Was it Roswell? They did an autopsy on the alien, and all that alien juice got on them. Whatever they were doing, this is in 1950, 60. Roswell sat up there, the alien, the short gray. I don't believe those the real pictures. I believe they took a dummy and did it, but they really did do it. But yeah, I don't know. So yeah, man. I don't know. Dogs can see. It's a rule of life that you can't see where these spirits are, right? Let me tell you what I dreamt about yesterday, and then I get off of here because I'm gonna do a show about me doing my homework, and plus I gotta make some phone calls. So I had a dream that I was somewhere, and then I don't want to talk about it because you know what? I'm crazy. I'm crazy, right? Just know that I'm crazy. So I had a dream this doctor told me, what he wanted to do for me. Now, this isn't a plastic surgeon doctor. This was a military doctor. And I'm like, what the hell? What the fuck? and um, so he told me what he was going to do for me. I can't remember how his face looked. I can't remember exactly where I was, but I know that in a sense was the way the questions he asked. I can't remember, but I remember the stuff he did. I can't remember, but I remember. I can't remember everything, but I have faith in the military. I really do. It was the Navy, and I said, well, why would I be around the Navy? We went down this long thing into the water, and then we got on this thing and into the ship. Now I was always wanting to eat. I don't know. It was weird, y'all. It was weird. Everywhere I go, I eat. Everywhere I go, and I'm gonna have fun eating when I am paying. But yeah, but yeah, it could be fake. But dreams have every dream that when I dream in vivid, some of it come true, but some of it, like for instance, I had a dream about a brick wall with cotton flowing through it. This was like back in 2014, 15. And then I ended up at McVets, and all McVets is a big brick wall. So whatever you dream about, it partially. That's why I say that dogs can see death. Dogs can see a lot of can sense when you're dying. Cats can too. They see things that we can't see with their eye vision. Birds can too. We haven't been granted that power yet. And I wonder why. Would the spirit be in physical form, or would it just be a spirit floating around in an area that I don't know? It's just weird, man. Now my mind is on it. I got y'all thinking about it. That's a good thing to think about because we need to know. We want answers. We don't want stuff top secret and other things. It's another word for it, top secret and something else. We want answers. What is so top secret? So just remember when they're saying top secret and stuff, and you're like, it doesn't bother me. You know, like what is so top secret? What is so top secret, y'all? Think about that. What is so top secret? Yeah. Take care.